Hello, my name is Shawn Buckley with the Natural Health Product Protection Association, and this is video number 8 in a series of videos on a very interesting thing that's happening in Canada. We are in the middle of an exercise in manufacturing consent to manipulate us as a population to accept cloned meat into our food supply with strict labeling at first. I mean, they knew in advance that they could not get us eating cloned meat without strict labeling. But to get us to eat cloned meat with strict labeling, they had to basically pretend like they were going to have us eat cloned meat without labeling, focus us on the labeling issue, not on whether we should be eating cloned meat at all. And then after we've been focused on that issue and they pause, and then they'll come back later and say, hey, whoa, we've listened. I mean, Canadians do not want to eat cloned meat that isn't labeled. We're going to have strict labeling, and then we'll be like, oh my gosh, we won. Can you believe that? We won. We've got labeling. And we'll never ask the question, should we be eating cloned meat at all? And so we've been doing these series of videos explaining what's going on, what a manufactured consent episode is, how you know you're in a manufactured consent episode or exercise. Today's video, I want to talk about, is this ethical? And not is it ethical that, well, actually, let's talk about this from a couple of perspectives. So, I mean, it's not ethical that they are manipulating us into accepting cloned meat. First, with labeling, watch the earlier videos where we explain how the end goal is, after a few years, to drop the labeling. And in other videos, we explain what their messaging is going to be and why. And then in an earlier video, we explain, well, when you drop the labeling, when we're now eating cloned meat in Canada without any labeling, that is the same thing as passing a law saying you must eat cloned meat. Because unless you're going to become a vegetarian, you're not going to be able to avoid it. You're not going to know if the hamburger you're eating at a restaurant, or the steak in a restaurant, the hot dog outside the Canadian Tire, your breakfast sausage and your egg McMuffin, the meat you buy in the grocery store. You're not going to know. Just like, I mean, we had genetically modified salmon in our food supply in Canada. It wasn't labeled, you didn't know. And unless you're going to become a vegetarian, then it's mandatory. You can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. So from a legal philosophical perspective, understand that if there's something you don't want to eat and you have good reasons for not wanting to eat it, and they're not going to require labeling, then it's mandatory. If it's a food you can't avoid, it's mandatory. Just like it's mandatory that you eat genetically modified plants, because you can't avoid them because there's no labeling. It's the exact same thing. I'm just wanting to raise the question, is this ethical? Is it ethical? And would an ethics board in the planet agree that it's okay for Canadians to be forced to eat cloned meat? And let's think about this for a second. And we're just asking the question, is this actually ethical? Is this morally right? I judge laws based on the second commandment. Love your neighbor like yourself. If we're basically forcing people to do things that I wouldn't want to be forced to do, then it fails the second commandment test. It's not a valid law. It should be resisted. Well, so what's happening? So first of all, we are being manipulated without being asked the question, is this safe? But an ethics board would ask the question, is it safe? And the problem the ethics board would have is to say, well, okay, let's even just back this up. Let's say we're an ethics board and we're being asked to approve a human safety study to eat cloned meat. And so is this ethical? Can we ethically, as a board, actually authorize a human safety study where humans, actual humans, are going to be eating cloned meat to determine whether or not it's safe, which means, likely the study's got to run for a long time and have sizable numbers. Can we ethically approve this? Oh, okay. Well, let's look at the other human safety studies so that, we can see how they went. That's the first thing we're going to ask. Oh, you mean there aren't any? This is the first human safety study on, like, it's 2025. Oh, okay. Okay, there's no human safety studies. Okay. Well, so Health Canada wants to allow cloned pork on the Canadian market. So show us the substantive, well-designed, long-term safety studies where animals were eating cloned pork. So let's start there then. There's no safety studies. Okay, we're already a little nervous here, but at least show us the extensive, well-designed, long-term, large number of animals studies, animal safety studies on eating cloned pork. So let us digest that. What? There's no, you mean there's no animal studies at all on eating cloned pork? You got to be wrong, because it can't be that there are no animal safety studies where animals were eating cloned pork, because Health Canada's said that Canadians can eat cloned pork without even any labeling, that it's perfectly safe. So, no, you mean you're serious? There's no animal safety studies on eating cloned pork. Oh, okay. So no human studies on any cloned meat and no animal studies on cloned pork. Okay. We can probably get over this, because Health Canada is also, and you're also wanting us to permit these human test subjects, to eat cloned beef. So I imagine the animal safety studies on cloned beef are just absolutely overwhelming, and that will help compensate for for the complete absence of any animal safety studies on cloned pork. So why don't we start, because Health Canada was saying this is perfectly safe for humans to eat both cloned pork and cloned beef. So why don't we start with the extensive, long-term, well-designed animal safety studies on cloned pork? I'm sorry. I must have developed problems with my hearings, because I thought you said they only list one very limited short-term rat study for cloned beef. Oh, you did say they only list one. Well, surely there's others that Health Canada didn't. I mean, you're asking us to allow humans to eat cloned meat. Like, you're asking us to make an ethical decision here. Oh, so you mean there's a couple of other limited rat studies? So really there are no animal safety studies. This is just absolute preliminary data. Okay. Yeah, no, you're making our job as an ethics board really difficult here. Now, I did hear you say earlier that the United States, the Food and Drug Administration in the United States, has concluded that cloned beef is safe, and so Health Canada is kind of piggybacking on that, and well, I mean, that's good, because surely no other country. I mean, if Health Canada is saying it's safe, there wouldn't be other countries that have banned the eating of cloned meat. Oh, you mean there are other countries that have banned it? You mean all 27 countries of the European Union don't eat cloned meat? Oh, the European Union has actually banned the cloning of farm animals. Oh, and for human safety concerns and animal welfare concerns. Oh, well, this This is kind of interesting. I was having a little bit of fun there. Can you imagine an ethics board worth its salt anywhere in the world based on the complete absence of human safety data, really the complete absence of animal safety data? What we didn't go into, I mean, okay, I forgot to ask the guy. Let me go back on the ethics board again. So, okay, are there known dangers to cloned meat? Oh, so you mean the actual process of cloning lends itself to the creation of genetic defects, which can't be predicted. And the act of cloning lends itself to anatomical defects such as organ damage and other unpredicted anatomical defects. And so that the animals that do survive, because a lot die before they're born and then a lot die very quickly after birth, but the animals that do like make it where we could actually eat them require a lot more drugs and veterinary attention. So more hormones, more antibiotics, more chemical drugs. Are there any studies where they're actually testing to see, a comparison of whether or not really we should be allowing this at all? I mean, a lot of researchers have voiced really credible concern that there's already too many hormones and antibiotics and chemical drugs in the meat from naturally bred animals. Oh, that work hasn't been done. Oh, I see. Okay. So you tell me, do you think any ethics board worth its salt, based on what we've just already gone through here, would permit human safety studies to be conducted? Would you vote yes if you were on an ethics board to permit humans that you had a fiduciary duty to protect as an ethics board? Would you permit them to be eating cloned meat based on what we've just discussed? I know I wouldn't. If it wouldn't be ethical, if an ethics board on the planet doing its job would not allow humans in a safety study where, their blood's going to be tested and they've got access to doctors and their vitals are going to be taken regularly, etc. If in those controlled circumstances, it would not be ethical based on the evidence to permit humans to eat cloned meat, to study if it is safe, how is it possible? Please tell me, because I don't know, how is it possible that Health Canada and our mainstream media are working together to manipulate Canadians into eating cloned meat that's labeled, with the goal of having us eat cloned meat that isn't labeled? That was a rhetorical question. These videos, we're going through the points in our discussion paper, point by point, number by number, to just drive home to you that you are being manipulated. And if you watch all of these videos, you will understand in the future how to identify a manipulating consent exercise. This series of videos will drive home very clearly to you why you need to band with us, participate in our actions to stop cloned meat in Canada. Stay tuned, because it gets better from here.